Hello everyone, very good evening. Welcome to the BISP Solutions. My name is Anjali, and in today's webinar we will be discussing about financial planning module under Enterprise Planning and Budgeting Cloud Services. So let's get started. So guys, if we talk about the financial planning, then let us understand what is this and why we are exactly doing this. Basically, if talk about financial planning, so it is planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it right now. Okay. And if talking about the definition of financial planning, so it is a process of estimating the financial required and determining its sources to achieve the financial goals. In other words, financial planning and analysis are the way towards framing the financial policies. Thus, it requires budgetary arrangements, acquirement, investment, and administration of funds of an organization. So, apart from framing policies, it also includes reviewing the past performance, because normally we are taking for our calculations, we are just taking the measures from the past performance, like we can say the historical data, and in our terminology we will be saying it actual data. So past performance, following trends, and analyzing the mistakes. So as a result, it helps in taking the corrective measures and forecasting the financial position for the future. So in our application, we will be doing this with the help of three methods, that is direct data input, driver based planning, and trend based planning. Before initiating, we must be aware, like people always ask me that you can do this thing with the help of the spreadsheets or Excel. So why you are doing this in the application? So let's talk about this. So basically, financial planning, also known as connected enterprise planning, right? We all know this. So it allows businesses to model strategic direction and take actions to optimize the financial and business performance. This approach is forward-looking and used to help finance guide the business to achieve its strategy. So basically, financial planning encompasses a long-range plan, scenario modeling, annual budgeting and forecasting, and ad hoc reporting and analysis. So I have write something for you guys to make it understand that instead of the spreadsheet, why it is useful to do this planning under the application, enterprise application. So despite the availability of enterprise-wide planning and budgeting software, many finance professionals still make use of spreadsheets, right? But financial spreadsheets are inherently difficult for forward-thinking planning for a number of reasons. What are the reasons? First, spreadsheets are fraught with risk. We all know that risks are always there, such as the lack of audit and security, increased human error, multiple versions with no governance, and more. With spreadsheets, data takes longer to collect, so it can easily be out of date by the time it is added. Organizations are left with mere snapshots of financial and operational plans. And financial planning spreadsheets are disconnected and segmented in different areas of the business. So it's very difficult to have a clear line of sight to plan across the organization. Therefore, multiple spreadsheets are difficult to keep track of, with multiple macros and links from the one spreadsheet to another. Perhaps more importantly, spreadsheets were never designed to handle today's company-wide planning, budgeting, forecasting, reporting, and analysis requirement. They are difficult to download to an ERP or other organizational systems, and spreadsheets don't incorporate in advanced technologies that can leverage multiple data sources and predictive capabilities such as detailed or what-if analysis. And if talking about the history of financial planning, so historically financial planning was a very mutual process that was disconnected from other areas of business, not very agile or accurate. Yesterday's financial planning was only done on the quarterly or yearly basis. It was typically done on a plethora of Excel spreadsheets that introduce risk around security errors, speed, and inaccuracy. That is very much risky, because we never need such kind of errors, speed, and inaccuracy in our work, right? Because of the inaccurate and dated information, it was often difficult to accurately forecast and adjust based on more immediate changes in the business. So let's understand this with the help of this example. Suppose if we do this manually, as we have done this in the historical time, so that can be drive based or historical trend. And if we talk about machine learning predictions, so it will be totally different, because it is not limited by inherent human bias and capability. Because when we do it on the application, so it will be data driven forecasting on large scale. You can see this in this diagram also. Statistical forecasting and simulation possible in this. So that is why we are using this application, so that we can get the results more accurate, and we can say without any errors, and it can be simple to use. Every time when we talk about any kind of planning, so what we think, there should not be any kind of human errors, and there should not be any kind of complexity. We all want very simple things in our day-to-day life. So that is why it is designed to make it simple and more agile, right? So let's talk about a financial planning software roadmap. In contrast, today's financial planning is data driven. Let me show you in my application. Let me log into my instance first. So this is the application. Just wait for a second. I just hope my voice is not echoing, because there is a lot of issues with the voice echo. So I'm just checking that. Okay, we'll check it later. So as you can see this application, firstly we have to go to the configuration. So this is my Excel sheet on which I'll show you my story and the drivers I'll use in the financial planning. So basically in my story, there is a hospital. For that I'm doing the financial planning. Okay, so as I said you that this is a financial planning driver based. So what drivers we can use here? Suppose in any hospital, the revenue modeling based on the services, right? So there should be a consultation fees and number of patients. So basically we have 5 different kind of specialists: general practitioner, neurologist, orthopedics, gastroenterologist, and pediatrician. So basically if I want to calculate the revenue from one general practitioner, so I have to consider the consultation fees, number of patients, and number of tests, right? So basically Um, if I talk about the consultation fees, so 500 per patient, and if talk about the revenue of a general practitioner for a single day, so number of patients would be 10 in a single day, and number of tests would be 20. So I have made a condition in that if the number of patients are 20, so 5% additional will be provided to that practitioner, that doctor. 5% for what? My consultation fee multiplied by number of patients. So whatever the amount, the 5% additional will be paid to that doctor. We can say as a commission percentage, because they recommended a certain type of test, and that will be the revenue for the hospital. So hospital will be considered on their side. So only if in a single day that number of tests would be 20 or more, so he'll be getting 5% more on this basic consultation fees multiplied by number of patients. So it is simple to calculate on the application. I'll be showing you how you can do that, and similarly you can find it out for the neurologist. If talking about the neurologist, so consultation fee multiplied by number of patients multiplied by I'll be writing here the normal surgery fee and complicated surgery fee, then number of surgeries and number of tests. So I'll be showing you like how you can calculate this in a simple manner with the help of our application, without adding any much drivers. With the help of those few drivers you can calculate the exact amount of the revenue. So without wasting time, let me again back to my presentation. So in contrast, today's financial planning is data driven. Planning has changed from periodic activity typically carried out by finance to a more continuous and connected process. And financial planning is becoming increasingly predictive, incorporating data science and using best practices and methods to focus not only on what has happened or is currently happening, but why and how is happening, and what is likely to happen in the future that we want. So financial planning has evolved over the years from a very manual human input process to a more data driven process. We don't want much effort for the human because there may be possibilities of several kind of errors, right? So we just want to make it a more data driven process, and can also incorporate machine learning, that is, we can say AI, and other advanced technologies. So planning and forecasting decisions used to be based on historical trends. Now forecasting includes machine learning predictions based on multiple data point scenarios and trends for a even more agile and accurate planning process. If we talk about the steps to financial planning, so initially we determine the like currently where we are. If we talk about in my case, we are talking about the hospital management. So firstly we will be determining the financial position, like right now where they are, and then develop the financial goals. Then after that we'll be identify the alternatives, then evaluate the alternatives, then we'll be create and implement financial plan, then reevaluate and revise your plan. So these will be the steps in our application also. This is very important to understand the basic difference, because many people are always confused in the budget and forecast, like what is the difference in that. So a budget outlines the financial expectation for what a company wants to achieve for a specific period in the future. It helps set the financial basis to plan for how an organization can execute its strategy or long range plans. If talk about a company's budget, so is usually re-evaluated periodically, most often semi-annually or annually, right? So a budget includes the following things, that is estimates of revenues and expenses, then expected cash flows, expected debt reduction, then benchmarks to compare actual results and expected performance. So in contrast, a financial forecast makes adjustment to the plan based on past performance to realign the priorities, targets and actions to make sure that the annual budget can be achieved, right? And a management team can use the financial forecasting that can take the immediate action based on the actual data. So a forecast is developed and reassessed much more frequently than a budget. So this is the basic difference among those, and in many instances forecasting is a continuous process throughout the year. We can do that, and we have further things to discuss, so we'll be discussing it one by one. But let's talk about the application, like how we can do these things and how we can apply in the application. So let me again open my instance. So what we have to do initially, just go to the application, and initially you have to go to the configure. From here you can see we have strategic modeling, financials, workforce, capital and projects. So as we already discussed with the workforce modeling, but today we will be discussing about financials, so go to that. From here we will be enable the features, and you can see here we are having the revenue or gross margin. So why we doing that? Because enable revenue planning, use your own accounts or select the provided accounts and drivers. Actually this is a pre-built application, so here we don't have to add much drivers and accounts, but if you want you can always do that. But additionally I will say that this is a pre-built application, so each and everything you will be getting by itself. You just have to use your own mind for running that one, right? Because without intelligence we can achieve anything. So just click on that, and let's discuss about this, why we are doing that. So select to enable the revenue or gross margin planning. It creates an account structure with key members for you to add own chart of accounts for revenue planning. So selecting this option enables direct entry and trend based planning. Either we can do the direct data input, okay, and we can also do the driver based planning and trend based planning. So we will be discussing each of these one by one. To enable a standard chart of accounts or driver based planning, we have to select accounts or drivers. So here in my application I would like to add accounts and drivers and related accounts as well for the products and services both, because I will be talk about the hospital as in company. Either we could take any other things like financial services or taxation services, but things that depends. So in my case I want products and services both, so I'll be enable both of these. Then go to the expense, and here we have to enable the expense planning, use your own accounts or select the provided accounts and drivers. Again accounts and driver and related accounts. So from here I would like to take compensation, then facilities, because we will be providing facilities to our patients, and here let's take travel and entertainment. Then I would like to take marketing. You can always select according to your requirement, it's totally up to you. Okay, then we will be taking income statement, and here you can see we have two options, that is in the primary income statement we are having the gross profit and contribution margin. So let me select this gross profit and go to the additional options. From here you can either take it simple, or you may be heard about EBIT, so earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization, so you can go for that also. One thing you have to remember that if you select this once, you can't be change it later on, so choose it wisely. So let me choose this, because in my case I would like to calculate the interest, tax, depreciation and amortization, right? So let's further move to the balance sheet. From here I would like to choose the asset and liabilities both, so I'll be selecting that, and I would like to add some drivers according to my requirements. So here I'll be adding the drivers and related accounts. Then next I will go to the cash flow statement, and I would like to do it indirectly, And if you select the direct account, so there would be sources of cash, uses of cash, the non-operating cash, right? And if you select the indirect account, so there will be few activities: operating activities, investing activities, and financing activity. So I'll be selecting each of those. Then we have rolling forecast option. If you want, you can always enable it. Then weekly planning. Then we are having map or rename dimensions. So you can see here automatically we are having the product, services, and plan element. But if you wish, you can always add to the custom dimensions. Suppose I just want to add one, and from here we can rename it market. I would like to add the market, and would like to add in the expense and revenue. So enable that and click on OK. Once it is done and you are satisfied that the features you have enabled are according to your requirement, then just click on the enable, and from here click on yes. Select at least one feature for the following custom dimensions, product or services. So I've already selected that, but let's select the features. So for selecting the features, go to here, and it will be valid for, because product will be valid for the revenue and expense, right? In the balance sheet there should not be any kind of use for the product or in the cash flow as well. So I'll be selecting revenue and expense, click on OK. And if talking about the services, so that will be also again used for the revenue and expense, right? So just enable that, and here we have to wait for some time so that the features which we enabled will be completed. We just have to wait for a few more seconds to make it enable. So I hope the enables features are already enabled. So let's go back to the application. You can see here the information, the financials functionality that you selected was successfully enabled, because before you can use these features, sign out and sign in again. So once we will be doing that, we will getting the features of our financial planning. So for that, let me sign out from here. Currently you can see here is we cannot see the financial planning option in our home page, but once we will be sign out and sign in again, we will be getting the features on our application. So it is signed out. Now let me log into the some other browser. Just give me a minute so that I'll be ready with my instance credentials. Now as we have sign in again, so you can see the features of financials, and once you click on that, you will be seeing the further cards among those that cluster that is with the name of financials. We will be getting these cards automatically designed for us, that is revenue, expense, balance sheet, cash flow and analysis. And let me show you what we will be getting after the configuration. So currently what we have done, we have enabled the features. Now we have to configure. So go to configure. Again go to the financials, and one by one we will be doing the further process. We have to load the metadatas, and you can see this option, the planning and forecasting preparation. So first go to that, and this is the current fiscal year, financial year 23. My period would be December, because December is going on, and I want to start the planning from next fiscal year. So from here you can select this, and if you want to do this planning monthly, so you can go with this option. You can always select it as per your choice. So you can do it either quarterly and half monthly and half quarterly, or half in a yearly. So it's totally depend on your requirement. I would like to take it on monthly basis, and you can see my planning would be from financial year 24 to financial year 27. That would be 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay, so 4 years I would like to do the planning, and the forecast will be financial year 24 to financial year 25. So 1 year I would like to do the forecast. Once it is done, click on save, and one by one we would have to upload the metadata. So close this. Once it is done, you will be seeing the option executed, and from here you can check whether it is done or not. And from this option you can change the status configured, and automatically when you upload the metadata for the drivers, so you will be getting the completed status. From here we will be selecting entities. Validate, then import, and then close this. You can see the status is automatically changed from the non-configured to the completed, right? And for checking it, the other option we have, go to the jobs, and from here you can see the import metadata is completed successfully. Also it is validated. Okay, now go back to the configure. We can select market from here. First click on validate, then import. You can see it has completed. Now go to the services. Where is my services option? Let me show you my metadata file, like how you can create that. One option is you can either export it from the application itself and change it accordingly, and the other option you can create it by your own. Just you have to take the right cube, okay, and the second thing is the properties, member properties should be correct here, otherwise it would be not correct. It will be showing you many kind of errors in that, right? So let me show you my file, like how I created the metadata files. Where is my entity? Yeah, here it is. You can see here are my entity member name, okay, and if you would like to change this, you can change it from here and re-upload it, okay. And here you have to write the parent, and here you can see the valid for consolidation properties, then data storage, formula, description, data type, hierarchy, then old name, old unique name, then we have currency, base currency in USD. You can either take the INR or any other kind of currency, because in our application we can take any kind of currency. There are multiple options we have. Then under the planning, there should be the plan type, whether it is true or not, then data storage, formula, solve order, each and everything you'll be getting once you extract the file from there. Okay, so you can either export it, or if you have already a metadata file, so you can take that one also, right? So let me close this for now and just go back to the application. So in this way you can upload the metadata. I've already uploaded the entities, market, one left, that is services. And after doing that, firstly we will be doing the revenue accounts configuration. From here we have to configure the revenue drivers and accounts, so click on that. You can see here, if I select the services revenue, so there are already pre-built members we have, dimensions we have, that is service hours and service rate, okay. But if I would like to add a new services according to my company or my hospital, so I can add from here. Go to the actions, click on add. Okay. And the second thing is, you can, if you have only products revenue, so go to the product revenue, and from here you can select, you can see we have already these few members, that is volume, average selling price. Generally, if I have to calculate any kind of revenue, so I have two things majorly, that is volume and the selling price. So volume would be multiplied with the selling price, so we'll be getting the revenue, right, product revenue. And if we want, we can add the discount and return percentage as well. So these things are automatically we have as a pre-built application. But if you would like to add some more things, so go to the actions, and from add option you can add from here. And you can see here we have multiple categories, that is service revenue, gross profit, revenue KPIs, then income statement KPIs, cost of sales, and product revenue. So first let me go to the service revenue. Here are service hours and rate. Now go back to the Excel sheet which you have designed as a story you have. So here is the revenue modeling I have, which I have prepared for my hospital revenue calculation. So here I would like to take, because if we talk about the services in a hospital, so there we would like consultation fees. Okay, that should be my driver, and number of patients and number of tests. So these simple things I have. So let's quickly write that. Consultation fees, click on actions, right here, write in the alias default column, and logically the time balance property should be flow, and the data storage property should not need to change because it is automatically coming under the right one, that is store. Data type, it is non-currency. If it is a percentage, so you can take the percentage. Okay, then save it and add another one. Click on add, and I'll be taking the number of patients. So let me write number of patients. I will copy this, paste in the alias, and save this. One more option I would like to add, that is number of tests, because the salary of the doctor is depending on this also. If the test in one day would be more than 20, so we will be providing 5% additional to our doctors, right? So this would be the another driver we have. Click on save and go to the another one, that is the product revenue, and let's check on the sheet whether I have any kind of products or not. And this revenue I would like to calculate for my all the categories of a specialist, that is general practitioner, neurologist, orthopedics, gastroenterologist, and pediatrician, right? And here my products would be medicines. I have taken only few things like antibiotics, injections, and painkillers, so I'll be taking that one. Click on add. I'll be taking antibiotics. So we cannot take this directly. We have to write the like number of medicines and rate per medicines. That would be our drivers. So here the number of medicines would be my driver, or we can see the quantity of medicines. Quantity of medicines. Here again I'll be copying this and paste this. So it is a quantity, so I'll be just making it flow as my time balance property, and from data type I would like to take it non-currency. Save it, and I would like to add one more. After the quantity, I'll be taking the rate per medicine, because the calculation would be done accordingly. So just click on that. So here my product revenue drivers are completed. Now once the revenue planning is done, we will be moving to the expense planning. So one by one we will be doing that. Click on save and close. And if you want to later on you want to add some more drivers, you can add it from here. And one more option, we can simply go to the dimensions. So for that, go to the navigator. From here, create and manage options we have. So go to the dimensions, and you have to select your cube on which you are working. So basically I want to do this on financial. So I'll be selecting plan 1, or I can select any other cube as well. And you can see it, we have already pre-built things like if I click on the revenue planning, so I have already revenue drivers, predefined revenue drivers and predefined cost of sales drivers. Then we have revenue drivers on forms. So if I click on that, you can see the predefined product revenue drivers, service revenue. One more thing, if you would like to add directly from here, or you want to load the metadata for these drivers, so you can do that also. So what I can do, I can click here and I can add one more child for this, and I'll be adding the drivers from here itself. So you can see whatever we have added, that is service revenue, product revenue, can be visible from here. And if you want to check the drivers, so click on this. You can see here OFS volume, average selling price, discount, return, direct labor per year. Each and everything is pre-built, right? So you can directly work on that, but I just want to work according to my company or my hospital, so that is why I have added few. Otherwise you can simply use these drivers which are already provided to you and work on that. And here are the expense planning, income statements. Then after that we are having the balance sheet planning. Then we are having the cash planning. After that balance sheet we'll be doing the cash flow, right? So first focus on the revenue drivers. I think for now today it is sufficient to understand like what we are doing, because it should not be too much, right? So again I am just doing the recap for all those things. So go back to the configure, what we have done. Firstly, create your story, one story on which you want to practice. Like I have created this one for the hospital. Select few revenues, make few revenue drivers, then after that expense drivers. Once it is done, go back to the application, and from here we have to enable the features is the first step. Very first we have to enable the features. Once it is done, go back to the configuration, and from here go to the financials, Okay, so when you move to the financials, you have to upload the metadata first, entities, market, services, whatever you will be selecting in that enable features. um, these will be highlighted over here, and you have to upload the metadata from here. Okay, and after that, go to the planning and forecast preparation, and there you have to set the time frame and granularity for plans. Okay, and after that, one by one you can do the revenue accounts configuration, expense account configuration, balance sheet and cash flow. Okay, so things will be done accordingly. Because after this one more session we have, so I'm closing here. So guys, if you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can always feel free to ask right over our BISP Solutions or BISP Training. So for now, today it is, I'm just closing this session. Thank you so much.